I'd never heard of rugby, never seen rugby, never watched rugby on TV, and went straight from 90-degree heat one day in Lagos to snowdrifts in Exmoor. I played for England schools, played for England students, played for England 18. The only team I played for was the full England team. If I'm going to get an England cap, I'm going to find out very quickly if I join Bath Rugby. Came back from '95 World Cup, opened Shoeless Joe's. My rugby form suffered. That was when I decided to move and sort of drop the champagne lifestyle and had to convince the rest of the guys, I'm serious about this now. I'm not just the champagne boy that turns up to training in a limo.
Did you do that?
Yes. Hi, I'm Victor Ubogu. This is my Rugby Life.
Hi, Victor. Welcome to Rugby Lives. Thanks for having us in your wonderful home. What a place.
Yeah, it is a great spot. I love it here.
So even just this room, there's a lot, this wall is incredible. It's for any sort of Bath fan in particular, what bits here are your favourites bit of memorabilia?
That is one of my favourite ones.
Ah, of course. So this is England versus New Zealand, Twickenham, 1993. Now this was one of the most famous victories, certainly of recent times in a way, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was also my first game at Twickenham for England.
Okay.
Because my second cap, the first cap was at Wembley, so it didn't really feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So playing that particular game at Twickenham was awesome, and lots of memories.
Yeah. What was the? Because back then it hadn't happened, so people weren't sure about how to beat the All Blacks. Everything came from the Lions in the 70s, and everyone else was trying to. And this England side, this is what they'd always set as a benchmark. If we're going to be good, we need to beat the All Blacks. So what was it like going into this game? It must have been a lot of trepidation.
There's always trepidation going to any game, especially that game. I mean, New Zealand had on tour, played against all the regional sides, beat everyone. They were unbeaten.
Yeah.
So come to Twickenham, everyone was expecting New Zealand to win.
Yeah.
However, that didn't happen.
What was a key moment in that game for you? Is there anything that stands out on the pitch?
For me personally, tackling Timo.
Yeah. Okay.
In the corner.
Yeah.
He was going for a try. I was the last man.
Yeah.
Caught up with him. Tackled him. Didn't make it. He didn't explain that from a prop in those days. That was an awesome time, and obviously that particular photo was taken just before I ran into them. The back row, Justin Joseph, and all the guys took him out completely. So
for those who just listening, so you very much got Victor on the charge with about 4 or 5 All Blacks right in front of him as they're queuing up to tackle him. How many of them actually tackled you in the end? Or did you get through those guys?
I got through the first 2, just knocked them back where I can see one of them there.
There's one on the floor already.
Yeah, 1, 2, and then they got me down.
Ah, took a 3.
Yeah.
And you joined a great time in Bath. So you first played for Bath, the early 90s. What year did you join?
I joined Bath in 89. So I finished,
89.
Yeah,
okay.
Finished at Oxford. And it was a real sort of turning point. He had a decision to make at that stage, because up until that particular moment, rugby for me was just for fun. I just played rugby for fun, and I had to make a decision whether to try and really go for it, or follow the rest of the blues into the city and a career in banking.
But you played in a good varsity team. You were with a Rugby World Cup winner.
Oh yeah, David Kirk. Yeah. It was quite a good side, and obviously we had. I always remember Chris O'Ty, the Chris O'Ty non-try. Yeah. Which won the game for Cambridge. He'd actually stepped into touch, and Mark Bailey, who was the touch just from ex-Cambridge captain, he was celebrating and actually watching where Chris O'Ty was putting his foot, and his steps at least a metre out in touch. In those days, there was no playbacks.
So you probably let Chris O'Ty, you let that one go though. You don't remind Chris O'Ty anytime you bump into him.
I didn't have any choice. Yeah, the record still stands, and we lost that day.
But it said a lot about the varsity match back then, because it's obviously very different now. But back then, we're talking about Kirk not in a year, not 10 years after he's retired or 10 years after his best. This was the same year that New Zealand won the first Rugby World Cup. He's then playing in the varsity match later on in front of a big crowd, I'm sure.
Yeah, we played when you played at Twickenham, full house.
Yeah.
And in those days, you make it into the varsity match. You played in the varsity match as a stepping stone to playing for your country.
Yeah.
Being players walked from playing that game straight into the Six Nations.
Yeah, because I think it was Wainwright was another one, the Rob Wainwright, and you had, as you mentioned, Chris Otey as well. So like it was real class rugby to
Brendan Mullen, he was in the centre with us.
Yeah, and so when you went from, so let's rewind a little bit, because even though you're playing the varsity match, you were still fairly late to rugby. So you were born in Nigeria, but you came over as a teenager. Is that right?
Yeah, I was born in Lagos. Grew up in Lagos in Nigeria there.
Yeah,
and I'd never heard of rugby, never seen rugby, never watched rugby on the TV. Where I grew up, there was no TV to watch rugby or sport. I was into basketball and soccer were the things I was into in Nigeria. And then I came across to England when I was 13 and went straight from 90-degree heat one day in Lagos to snowdrifts in Exmoor, a school called West Buckland.
Okay, so this is in North Devon.
In North Devon, yeah. Never heard of it. Never seen anything as cold, never seen snow.
Wow.
And I was wearing 2 pairs of trousers, 3 jumpers, spoke pidgin English.
Yeah.
So
were you over there as boarding school as well? So was your family still in Nigeria, or they moved over as well?
My father was over here. My father won a government scholarship to come and study in England.
Oh, okay.
When I was too young to remember.
Yeah.
So he left. My mother died when I was again too young to remember, and I was brought up by my grandma.
Okay.
And I was introduced to my dad when I was 8, and moved around a few uncles and aunts around Nigeria. Yeah, completely uncontrollable. No one could keep check on me. And my father stayed in England after his degree and started an import and export business.
Yeah.
And started a new family and brought me across when I was 13 to come and join the rest of them.
That's incredible. How do you, it sounds like you're a bit of a tearaway as well for obvious reasons. So what was it?
I think I was just very strong-minded.
Strong-minded. Okay. That's fair enough.
Yeah. I like to do what I wanted to do, not what people want me to do.
What was it like coming into a family that was yours, but also completely strange to you?
Well, I was in a completely different culture for a start.
Yeah.
I was brought up in a close-knit compound in Nigeria. My grandma, aunts' kids, uncles' kids. Yeah. So I was the baby in the compound. So everyone looked after me. Obviously, my mother died when I was too young to remember.
Yeah.
So I was the responsibility of everyone that was there.
Okay.
And I was very close to my grandma at the time.
Yeah.
And to be taken away from that environment, to go there and live with my one of my uncles I'd never met before in a completely different state.
Yeah.
It didn't sit well with me.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
So I just didn't conform.
Yeah.
And I was moved to another uncle, didn't conform, moved to another one.
Yeah.
And then eventually, my father said, right, you can come to England, come and live with us. I arrived in England. We were living in Sunningdale at the time.
Yeah.
Arrived in England, spent one day in Sunningdale, and then I was on the train down to Devon to boarding school.
You sound like one of those wartime kids, when they had to take all the kids from the big cities. We're going to send you out to the country. You don't know what to do with you.
Yeah, communication was a bit tricky because this little boy from Lagos who spoke pidgin English.
I'm guessing there weren't too many Nigerians kicking around North Devon at the time.
There were 1 or 2 at the school.
Okay.
Which I think that's how my father knew about it.
Okay.
And thought, okay, that would be a good place for me to go to. I thought, Dad, I thought you loved me. I thought you brought me here to be with you.
Look, you're in the same country. Just be happy, okay?
You sent me to this place on the edge of the moors. Snowdrifts. This was 1977. Snowdrifts, completely snowed under.
Not even
freezing my ass off. And then one day they said, well, Wednesday afternoon is sports, and here's a shirt, shorts, some rugby boots, and some socks.
Yeah,
we're going to do rugby training.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know what rugby is, but hey, I'll have a go. So we're out there running around, run around the pitch, and I was just everywhere. Just obviously coming from Lagos, I didn't know the rules.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, I was sent off. Yeah. go learn the rules.
Do you know what you got sent off for?
Go learn the rules.
Anything.
I was disruptive. And, I was running ahead, thinking it's like basketball or football.
Yeah.
Passing the ball. I mean, what sort of a game is this where you're running forwards and passing backwards?
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah. And were you Vic back then? What was your do you look like a rugby player back then?
What does a rugby player look like?
I think you look like. I mean, you look like a rugby.
Because back then it's all shapes and sizes.
This is true.
That's what they told me.
This is true.
But when I was 13, I was still slim. I was a small 13-year-old.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And sort of filled out later.
Yeah.
When I got to 15.
Yeah.
I started developing muscles and got a bit stronger.
When did you get to grips with the game? When was there a point where you said, okay, actually I can do this, or I understand it?
Well, when I was 13, sent in to go and learn the rules, I just thought, sod that, it's too bloody cold out there.
Yeah.
And ended up playing basketball and table tennis with all the other the Asian kids that were there that didn't also into rugby.
Sensible.
Yeah, so that was sensible. And the following year, there was a handful of girls in the school.
Okay.
And there was one that I quite liked.
Okay.
And I noticed that she was always hanging around all the rugby boys. and it's like, okay, if I'm going to get close to that girl, I need to actually learn this game. I need to get involved. And I was fast. Before that year, I was fast. I was strong. And they said, right, we'll put you out in the wing. All you have to do is, when you get the ball, run as hard as you can and touch it down behind the line over there.
Okay.
Easy. Yeah, sure, easy. That's what I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so came out to play at 14 and was scoring 3 or 4 tries a day at games, knocking people out the way.
Amazing.
So it was, that was how...
Was the girl impressed?
Yeah.
So what did your dad make of you playing rugby? What did he think? Because presumably he hadn't played rugby, or had he played rugby at all when he was in England?
I very much doubt it. We didn't really talk, because I didn't really grow up with him.
Okay.
And we didn't really talk about...
But presumably you returned to Sunningdale eventually.
Well, I've returned to Sunningdale. The thing about my growing up, when I came to England, went to boarding school in Sunningdale, I'd come home, he was sort of import and exporting Clark shoes and TVs and all that stuff back to Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
And then the military government took over.
Okay.
The army took over.
Yeah.
And banned all military imports. That was his business. So his business failed overnight.
Okay.
Because of that. So he went back. He went back to Nigeria a few months later.
Wow.
Trying to develop some business out there.
Yeah.
But I was in England.
So
everything sort of switched around.
Did you stay with? Did he have children over here already? Did you have with the second?
Yeah.
Did you stay in touch with them at all, or?
Yeah. I did. Yeah. And I grew up with them.
Yeah. Okay.
So he went back to Nigeria.
Yeah. Okay.
So he was in Nigeria. I'm in England. So again, our paths only sort of crossed.
Yeah.
From time to time, not that often.
Yeah.
But going back to the rugby. It was quite a fun game, and I quite enjoyed it. That the year I played on the wing, it was easy. He got the ball, big strong runner, bouncing the kids out of the way.
Yeah,
I love that part, and I love competitive sport.
Yeah,
and obviously, really got into it. Then moved from wing to centre to fullback, and then there was one particular day where our prop got injured.
Yeah.
And the loose head prop got injured, and I was the second biggest guy in the team.
Okay.
This is that under 15 level. And, they asked me to step in to play prop for a couple of games whilst I was off injured. So I went to Loosehead, standing one in the line.
Yeah.
And absolutely loved the front row.
Okay. Physicality?
Love the physicality.
Yeah.
But most of all, I love the fact that it was quite warm in there. It was quite warm. Love the physicality. Love the standing in the front of the line, running, getting my hands on the ball a lot earlier. And I didn't have to wait for anyone else to try and win it and pass it down the line to me.
Yeah.
I wasn't freezing my ass off anymore.
Yeah.
I just love that whole front row mentality, front row thing. It really resonated with me.
So you didn't regret the fact that you probably didn't score quite as many tries, although I'm sure
I still carried on to score as many tries.
Yeah.
I actually got the ball more often.
It's true. Go closer to it. You
got the ball more often. You peel off the line now, boom, off he goes. And then went on to play for Devon schools.
Yeah.
And I stayed at prop.
So you went to University of Birmingham, and then but that's where you played for Moseley, who were a strong side then as well.
Went to University of Birmingham, do my first degree in chemical engineering, and played for the university for the first year just to play for the uni and get get into the uni life, and then went and joined Moseley. And
what was that like? Because how old you'd have been, like 19 then?
19, 19 when I went up, because I took an enforced year out because I'd applied to do medicine.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what I wanted to study, and my father had been drumming into me, "I'm gonna become a doctor." Typical Nigerian man. I want you to be a doctor. I want you to be a doctor. So I'd applied for medicine. Got a place at St. Mary's.
Yeah.
And there was I think it was the summer before I went up. So around July, I happened to be walking through a hospital for some reason. I can't remember why, and thought, "Good God, I hate the smell here." And there's absolutely no way I can work in this environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd read a Sidney Sheldon novel where there was a psychoanalyst.
Yeah.
And the way he interacted and treated people, again, on the couch and all that jazz. Yeah. And I thought, okay, I could see myself doing something like that.
Okay.
And however, you needed a medical degree.
Yeah.
First, and then specialize.
Okay.
That's how I sort of convinced myself that, okay, I could.
You can still get doctor in your job title.
I can still do that. But walking through that hospital, I just thought, absolutely no way.
Yeah.
I rang St. Mary's up and said, "Look, I'm really sorry. You need to give the spot to someone that's more deserving. This medicine's not for me."
Wow. So, obviously rugby wasn't really a career option then either, was it? So what were you thinking? Right, finance-wise? Well,
rugby, see, for me, when growing up, rugby was never part of my life. Rugby for me was just sport, like basketball or table tennis. I just enjoyed playing rugby. I enjoyed the camaraderie. I had no aspirations whatsoever in rugby. I was just fortunate enough to be good at sport.
Yeah.
And rugby was one that I sort of enjoyed the most and progressed the most in terms of, okay, went to play for Devon, then Southwest schools, then England schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, it just happened.
Okay.
I guess it wasn't because I was chasing it.
Yeah.
Or I was being pushed in that direction, because there was nothing like that.
It was something you did alongside other things. So you were studying, so you were... I mean, what was playing for Moseley like? Did that feel like a step up because you were suddenly playing first grade rugby or first team rugby and that a lot?
Yeah, it was a huge step up, and it was something I wanted to do because I wanted to play against the best and compete against the best, just from a personal point of view, not because I had aspirations of playing for England, because that was. I didn't grow up in that sort of environment.
Yeah.
I was fortunate not to be good.
Were you targeted? I mean, you were quite young as well, though. You were young to be in that sort of first and in the front row as well. Player first at 19 must have been, a tough environment to grow up in.
Yeah. It was very tough in the front rows. In the front row, it's very unforgiving.
Yeah.
But that's the fun of it. It's manu a manu. You eyeball each other and you. Boom, go for it. And I love that. You don't get that out of the wing.
So after Oxford, what did you do? You went to London after Oxford?
Yeah, after Birmingham, I went to Oxford, was given the chance to get there for a year. I thought, took it.
Yeah.
And again, it was the choice of either apply for jobs or remain a student for one more year.
Was there a lot, because rugby seems to be inadvertently, rugby's kind of this conduit for you now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially if I presume if you haven't got many people from sort of back home or anything, was it kind of like a bit of a family all the way through for you, all the different clubs you were playing for?
Yeah, I guess the camaraderie that you sort of build up in the rugby environment, in the rugby community,
Yeah.
keeps you sane.
Yeah.
It gives you great support.
Yeah.
And it's great fun, and it's people, it's people that you sort of, you keep friends for life.
Yeah.
Those sort of shared experiences.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can go down to Moseley or any of the guys that I played with, knock on their door and say, hey, I need this.
Yeah.
I need a bit of help, or
Yeah.
they'll be there. It will be all there. Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Although it's more than 30 years ago.
Yeah, a couple more.
And sort of moving from Birmingham to Oxford was just another opportunity that rugby opened up for me.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, of course, I'd love to go and experience the year at Oxford, play in the varsity match, just as another thing to do. It wasn't an aspiration as such.
Yeah.
It just fell into place.
Just happened.
It just happened. The opportunity came along, and you decided to seize it or not.
So when did Bath come knocking to you? How did that happen?
Bath came knocking in my final term at Oxford, and because David Soul was leaving Bath and moving back up to Scotland. Yeah. So they were after a replacement for David, and they came and had a chat and said, would you come to Bath, and there is a potential opening, but you're going to have to fight for your place.
I mean, in fairness, when you're looking at David Soul's replacement, did that stuff matter to you because you hadn't really followed it? Because you're not.
I hadn't really folled it.
So who's David Soul?
I didn't really know who he was. I wasn't. When I was first getting into rugby, I looked up to Mike Slemon because he was playing on the wing for England. Now that was where I was. Yeah, and I loved his running style. I just loved the way he played.
Yeah. Well, you were a better prop than Mike Slemon.
Well, you never tried to prop.
Well, exactly. But nonetheless.
When Bath came knocking on the door, I mean, my aspirations throughout my youth and throughout uni and was to go into business and do something. I just wanted to go and work.
Okay.
Rugby for me, it was just a sport and a pastime that I enjoyed. Yeah. And it wasn't taken seriously by me. I just enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the guys I played with. I enjoyed the camaraderie. Enjoyed everything about rugby. Okay. And at that point, when Bath said, come down to Bath, I was tunnel vision to go to London, get into the city, get a job in banking, corporate finance, that sort of stuff. And I may or may not have carried on playing rugby if I went down that route. But up until that moment, it really did make me think, because I played for England schools, played for England students, played for England 18. Mm-hmm. The only team I hadn't played for was a full England team. Okay. So some juncture, I must have thought, okay, let me try and get a full England cap, because I didn't want to look back in 20 years and think, what might have been. Yeah. Yeah. And I looked at Bath. They were the top team in the country. They had Graham Dorr, Gary Chilcott playing in the front row, who were playing for England. They had Richard Lee on the tight head, who I was playing with at England A. And the other roster of internationals. So I thought, if I think I'm good at this game, if I'm going to get an England cap, I'm going to find out very quickly if I join Bath Rugby. Yeah. If I can fight my way to that into that front row, that's a huge stepping stone to playing for England, and I'll find out if I was good enough very, very quickly without wasting my time. So I sort of gave myself 3 years to crack it.
Yeah.
If all else fails, I could always go back and start a career in the city.
So what was it like when you first went in there? What was the check? Because again, they were very successful already. What was it like when you first kind of arrived in that changing room?
And the thing that really struck me about Bath was first when I came down to have a look at the club, and I went to the clubhouse, and I looked at all the pictures of all the former internationals that they had along the walls. And the first thing I thought was, wow, I want to get my photo up there.
Wow. Okay.
That was an inspirational moment for me, and what quite significant in my decision making. Yeah. And if you get on there now, it's not quite the same. They took all the photos down.
Yeah.
So that sort of legacy thing.
Yes.
You lose that.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
So I saw that. I thought, wow, this is the club for me. I want my photo up there. And the rest was history.
Yeah, tell me about the training. What was that side of things like?
The training was very harsh.
Okay.
The training was a nightmare. And the games were easy.
What did training look like?
Training looked like, you got the likes of Andy Robinson, John Hall, David Edgerton, Nigel Redmond. Those boys don't take a backward step.
Yeah.
And you've got a young, loud prop like myself coming in thinking that I'm the kiddie. You get very quickly taught a lesson. And the one thing that struck me, was there's so many youngsters that came in at the same time, and I noticed that, and you see that every year.
Yeah.
So many kids that come in, and we all think, we're the best in our age group. We're the kiddies.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're with the big boys, and it's like, oh, okay. I'm gonna sink or swim here, and that's what the Bath environment was like in those days.
Yeah,
because the training was very physical and very real. If you step out of line, boom, you're gone. And the banter.
Yeah.
Some of the kids that came in just couldn't handle the ribbing.
Okay. Well, what's the worst bit of ribbing you heard? How bad was it?
Worst bit of ribbing.
Okay, well, which is not gonna get half your team.
No, it's gonna
different time.
Definitely different times, and not something I can really repeat.
Did you? Because back then as well, would you get grief because of the colour of your skin at rugby? What was it like back then, from as a player?
There's always been an undertone of that in rugby.
Yeah.
Going to school, growing up, going to a private school, playing rugby. Yeah, of course. I felt that from time to time. And there are those that mean it, and there are those that just banter about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not serious. It's done for fun.
Yeah.
Unlike these days where if you anything that you say that's anywhere left field, you just get completely smacked.
Yeah.
The banter was a lot better then. But yeah.
So you've always been able to be quite objective about it.
Yeah, you have to be. Okay. You have to be, because it's human nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can't. I've never taken things like that too seriously.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to be fighting with everybody.
Because also one of your differences back then was the way you played. We didn't really have props that were quite as mobile as you as well. Because really, props were there to do a job, weren't they? They weren't as free running or trying to get their hands on the ball quite as much. It was like, right, you do your scrum, you get to the next scrum, you get to the next line out. So there was even that side of the game. What did Bath? Is that what Bath liked about you, or how did they approach what you actually were like as a player?
Bath utilised my skills, my skill set.
Yeah.
And played me into the game. Yeah. Because I made ground.
Yeah.
And the great thing about Bath is there was an environment of some very special people, very special players.
Yeah.
And any player, in any position could turn the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that was how strong the squad was.
Yeah.
You know, it could be me in the front row, it could be Swifty on the wing.
Yeah.
You know, Andy Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was so many people you could rely on.
Yeah.
And you knew that, you know, somehow, if we're in a hole,
Yeah.
someone will find a way out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's even, you know, we might be losing those games.
Yeah.
But by the end of the game, we find a way to win. We always find a way to win. Yeah, we went through a period where we only lost, 1 or 2 games a season.
Yeah. Was there a time when you felt, do you know what, that there's no imposter, I'm part of this side? Was there a game when you thought, do you know what, I'm in this team now? Or like you felt relaxed, not relaxed, but you know.
You never feel relaxed. But
No.
it took me 18 months to break into the team. Yeah, those you know, in those days you had 2 players on the bench.
Yeah, true.
And I didn't play that much rugby.
Yeah.
But because I could, they thought I could cover prop, I could cover the front row, and I could cover the back row.
Yeah.
Because of my mobility, I was always on the bench,
Okay.
and there was no substitution.
Yeah. 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 So you got cold.
I got cold. Ended up playing for the second team on the Wednesday night.
Yeah.
across the Severn Bridge, get my head kicked in, and then sit on the bench of the first team on the Saturday. Yeah, it's quite an experience. And I always remember the first time I actually travelled with the team when I first joined the club. I travelled with the team. I wasn't part of the squad, and it was Gloucester away.
Okay.
And I always remember going to Gloucester and just looking out, walking in, looking at the shed and thinking, thank God I'm not on the pitch. Because some games, you look at it, those days it was like, oh my God.
That would have been some lively banter.
What have I let myself into? I mean, those were big games.
Yeah,
There were some big players and you know, a big local rivalry, which you just don't see that these days.
Not perhaps so, certainly not in England. Maybe some of the French ones there's a bit of rivalry there that still matches it. And like when you obviously break through Bath and then England, you know, we talked about, in fact, my very first game I watched was, well, I went to live. We went all the trip up from Brixham to the Wembley game because it was a bit weird, wasn't it? It was such a strange setting to have, you know, and you face Canada. What was that like? Did it feel different? Because there was obviously a few people who would help you make that segue.
Yeah, well, your first cap, you're totally at sea.
Yeah,
because you're just not used to the pace. You're not used to the environment. You're not used to any of it at all.
Yeah,
and the game just, you're out there, you're singing the national anthem. And all of a sudden, the game's over.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, the pace is a lot quicker. Everything is quicker.
Yeah.
And, you know, you come off aching like hell. Yeah. Canada, for me, that game, when I'd set my sights on an England cap, my vision was running out to Twickenham.
Yeah.
So running out Wembley just wasn't quite the same, and I didn't want to be remembered as who won an England cap but never played at Twickenham.
Yeah,
you know, and so I just couldn't stop at one. I had to go. It motivates you to to keep going until that first proper cap against New Zealand at Twickenham.
And then it was also like the rivalries as well. How did you go against your other England? Were you always just focused on the specific game, or do you think, right, okay, I'm on the same pitch as my England rival, I'm going to make sure I make an impression against him, kind of thing?
What play for England?
Yeah, well, when you're playing for club, did it change your perspective on all the different rivalries? Because now if you're a bit more focused on England, you're saying, right, we're playing against, you know, Quins or whoever it is, and that guy's on the pitch, so I need to make a mark.
You think about that, however, you know, Bath is where everything starts.
Yeah.
And you can't be thinking about England. You know, you're focused on the game.
Yeah. Because
you've got to win that game. And if you're playing against, like for example, I was playing against Jeff Probyn.
Yeah.
I know that I've got to be at the top of my game.
Yeah.
So that is the only place my mind is, my mindset is get in that game, get the job done.
Yeah.
and make sure that I dominate him.
How did you get on with Jeff?
Very well.
Yeah. So it wasn't like a door more thing. That sort of rivalry.
No. I'm a nice guy. And so is Jeff. Yeah. With Dawes is a nice guy too.
Yeah.
Until you come across him in the front.
I don't think anyone would want that.
Yeah.
That's why you stayed at Bath.
That was the beauty of playing at Bath. You know, young Bob, young loud from Oxford. You know, thinks he's a kiddie. Playing the front row alongside Graham Dorr and Gareth Chilcott. Who's gonna mess with me?
You grow a foot just by having those two next to you.
Yeah, armchair ride all the way. Why would I leave Bath?
But it did all come together. It felt like, you know, certainly looking at it from the outside, it felt like 95 was a season that sort of everything came together for you, for England as well, sort of, you know, for club and country, that Grand Slam season. Is that how you see it?
I spent a good 10 years at Bath.
Yeah.
And every year was special.
Yeah.
I mean, we won something or we did the double.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you know, the group of guys that we were with, it was just that group of people were just so much fun to get around.
Yeah.
I haven't gone into any other environment that has come anywhere close to what I experienced at Bath in that glorious decade.
Yeah. Why did it last so long? Because it's still quite long for that sort of length of, you know, continual success, but absolute dominance as well. What do you see as the key to that success?
I think we had the core people were there.
Yeah.
I mean, that group, the majority of that group stayed together for a long time.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what you get when, you know, if you have a successful team that continue to be successful.
Yeah.
You need continuity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because without that, you know, you can't, you know, it takes time. It takes time to build relationships and understanding. Once you have that,
yeah,
and it's in a really good place, and you can keep it together for as long as possible, the time that you keep it together, that will be a successful period.
Yeah.
But yeah, it only started going to pot when the game went professional, and then we started letting the players go.
Yeah.
And that was when it fell apart.
Yeah.
You know, you're bringing in people who didn't understand or weren't interested in, you know, the Bath ethos and the Bath way, and that just corrupted it all, which is why we lost our way for decades.
But it was the determination the Bath side had, like we talked about, sort of winning stuff after perhaps the best years, like and that, you know, we've got your medal here, you know. The Heineken Cup as well. That's an incredible win, and it felt a bit like the last hurrah for the side. What was the mentality inside? Say, right, we're going to do this one thing because it's something we've never achieved.
The mentality on that game, I think I mean, Breve were by far the favourite. I mean, they won in the previous year. They were full of, you know, dancing internationals. But everyone forgot that the fact that we've never lost a final.
Okay.
And the core of the side was still there.
Yeah.
And that was the main difference.
Yeah.
When it came to pulling it all together on that day, we knew we could do it.
Yeah.
We knew we could do it. We fought for each other because we've been doing that for a long time. And that was the main difference. Because no matter what, we were behind for a while.
Yeah.
We knew we were going to win the game.
Even then.
Yeah.
And what was it like afterwards? Did it feel, you know, did that feel like the last big thing? Did it feel like, okay, this is the end of something, or was it?
It didn't feel like this is the end of something. What happened after that season? Quite a few players left. Yeah, and then things were just going wrong. In terms, I was transfer listed before then.
Yeah.
You know, so I wasn't in the best. After all I've done, you know, Andrew Robinson, you transfer listed me. You're having a laugh. And when the club came in for me, you didn't tell me.
No,
because I would have just left. I would have left just out of the fact that, you know, after so many years,
Yeah.
Yeah, you transfer this out of Bath, and I didn't want to leave Bath.
How did they tell you that?
I remember. I think he summoned me to the club hotel.
Yeah.
Ahead of a Saracens Bath game in London to tell me,
Wow.
that you're going to be transfer listed. This was, I think that was 97. Yeah, 97.
So that was that season's 97.
Yeah. So, you're going to be transfer listed. And I said, "Oh, I lost the plot." I did lose the plot because I could have left when I went professional and gone to Saracens, because I was approached with with an offer that was much more than what Bath had offered me.
Yeah.
Both financially and help on the business front.
Yeah, yeah. What were you doing for a business then? Because obviously not your whole career wasn't professional rugby. You had a career. So what were you doing?
Yeah, when I first came to Bath, I was given a job by one of the club's benefactors, Malcolm Pierce.
Okay, yeah.
Just working in their property development side of things. Finding land to build little shopping centres, the JCR News. In new developments in the southwest. So that's the job I was doing, and then ended up going to Bristol Poly to do a part-time course in surveying.
Okay, all right.
And left that, went to work for a cousin of mine in London to help him with the security company that was expanding, which is why I moved to London. Yeah, but still carried on playing for Bath. Yeah, and then after that, set up Shoeless Joe's, this was a sports bar. Okay. And restaurants on the King's Road and Temple, various places, other places.
We'll come back to that one, but let's finish off with the transfer listing stuff. So how did you manage to knuckle back down then? Because if you were really angry and you wanted to leave
I was angry, I wanted to leave. They transfer listed me, and I found out afterwards that Moseley had made an offer.
Oh, wow.
But I wasn't told about it.
Okay. So why transfer listing not tell you then? That doesn't make sense.
Because he backtracked.
Oh,
Changed his mind.
So after the props got really angry at me, I'm going to backtrack.
So it is, because if they told me that there was an offer on the table, I'd have gone.
Just that principle,
I would have gone. Yeah, out of principle. Just it's like, sod you, I'm out of here. Yeah, I would have gone. Yeah, but they didn't tell me. I found this afterwards. Yeah, that they, I think maybe one of the props might have been injured, and they decided that actually, well, let's just hang on to it. And then, because Clive Woodward at the time was consulting at Bath. Okay, on the coaching side. Yeah, and he summoned me to his place, and I went to see him, and we were chatting away, and he said, "Look, you've been obviously came back from '95 World Cup, opened Shoeless Joe's, not having any experience in the bar trade, just background of why things fell off the rails a bit. Not having any experience in the license trade, spent practically living in the bar, learning everything about the bar. As a result of which, obviously, my rugby form suffered.
As you do from studying a bar and its contents.
Yeah. My rugby form suffered. I was dropped by England. And then obviously I was dropped by Jack Rowell, who was my ex-coach at Bath. Dropped by England and then dropped by Bath. Yeah. And then they transfer listed me in the summer of '97. And that was when Clive, I went to see Clive, and he said, "Look, he's got the '99 World Cup coming up. You're one of the best props around. You can still make it, but you've got to adapt. You got to get your act together." Yeah, that was when I decided to move, sort of relocate permanently from London back down to Bath, and sort of drop the champagne lifestyle and knuckle down and sort of set the '99 World Cup as my target. Yeah, and started training, got myself together, got back into the Bath team. Then made it onto the England bench and made it into the '99 World Cup squad, and then retired after that. And that's why it's sort of 2-year plan of I don't want to get out of this game on a low. Yeah, I want to leave. I want to retire. And '99 World Cup's 2 years away. That was my goal.
But nonetheless, Shoeless Joe's must have been fun, because that was like really iconic. That took you beyond rugby, didn't it?
Young, play for England, bar owner.
Yeah, right on the town.
Where did it all go wrong? Yeah, in the King's Road.
Yeah. Full of all this memorabilia, photo shoots and everything. So
Man, it was a good time.
yeah.
It was a great time, and I'm glad I had that time, and I'm glad I made the most of that time.
Yeah.
Because game going professional and everything on the sort of social front
Yeah.
and social media platforms, it's all gone to pot.
Also means that everyone knows your name as well. So those outside of rugby, I think, generally feel that Shoeless Joe era as well. Everyone started to know your name beyond rugby. So we all knew your name in rugby for the problem with England, but also I think it helped that. And obviously now, which we'll come into a sec about, what you do afterwards means that there's this personality that everyone knows from hospitality. It created a name in hospitality for you.
Yeah. I mean, again, that was sort of rugby sort of directing my route.
Yeah.
Shoeless Joe's, that came through rugby.
Yeah.
And then
how did it come through rugby? How did the actual Shoeless Joe's idea come about?
Well, I was having drinks with mate Adam, who played alongside me. Played in the centre in the Blues team.
Yeah.
And we were chatting away, and just we just been to New York, where there was loads of sports bars. But in England, there's hardly anything around.
Yeah.
I think it was just I can't remember what it's called now, the Haymarket.
Yeah.
The South African.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I can't remember what it's called, but sports something.
Yeah.
That was the only one.
Yeah.
So I thought, something, let's open a sports bar.
Yeah, why not?
Got some investors together and off we went. Opened Shoeless Joe's on the King's Road, just a couple of days before we left for the 95 World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they was going, will you bring the team down? So of course the team will come down to the opening.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, fine, we'll invite X amount of people. I said, well, you're gonna be very careful because the team are here. The place is gonna be rammed.
Yeah.
The bus arrives from Petersham. The place was completely rammed.
Yeah.
We couldn't get in. We couldn't get into the bar. Half the team ended up going to the pub across the road. It was just rammed because everyone knew that we were going to be there.
Yeah.
And then we left for the 95 World Cup shortly after that.
Were you quite hands-on with the bar? Were you actually have to be in the bar? Did they, because people knew who you were, was there an expectation that you were present at the bar as well?
I was present at the bar. I wasn't hands-on, totally hands-on with the bar manager.
Yeah.
But, I wanted to understand what was going on.
Yeah.
Which meant spending a lot of time there.
Yeah.
And every time you're down there, Vic, fancy a drink? Prop forward? No, don't go together.
So how hard was it to come back then? So obviously you had the conversation with Clive. You thinking, right, do you know what? There's another Rugby World Cup in you.
Yeah.
You moved back to Bard. How was it hard? Was it to kind of get yourself back to the standard that you kind of hoped to be?
It was quite a tough road, but one that I needed to do.
Yeah.
So you sort of moved back down to Bath. And then started, got together with the fitness coach, put together a program. I was doing extra sessions before our training session. Go down the land bridge. I'll be there, an hour before training starts on the bike, getting my fitness up. The fitness was my problem.
Yeah, it must have surprised a few people. They must have presumed you had lost a Shoeless Joe.
What's going on?
So,
what are you doing?
Victor's got concussion.
So I was doing extra fitness, and then going to the training session.
Yeah.
And just concentrating on playing, and because I was here, it was a lot easier. Prior to that, I kept saying, sure, I'm in London. Yeah, of course, I've done my training in London. I'll come down once a week.
Is that what you were doing?
That was the arrangement.
You're on a professional contract.
That was where I negotiated.
Wow. Jeez.
Of course I was doing my training. So I was coming down once a week on the Wednesday for the team run.
Yeah. Okay.
And then go back to London.
And what was the year you decided? Because when you won the European Cup, were you doing that then, or was that after? Did you by the time?
It was before. That was when I went down.
Literally,
97. So that season, that 97, 98 season.
That's when.
That was when I thought, right, move back down to Bath.
Yeah.
Knuckle down, and
win European Cup.
Try and get back into the Bath team. Get back into the England team. 99 World Cup. That's the target. Placed it in that season, and ciao.
Yeah. Mm.
So it was a 2-year plan.
Yeah.
And, it's a lot of hard work. I mean, aside from initially, obviously had to, train at Bath, had to fight my way back at Bath.
Yeah.
And had to convince the rest of the guys, especially the players, that, I'm serious about this now.
Yeah.
I'm not just the champagne boy that turns up to training in a limo.
Did you do that?
Yes. It was me.
I love the fact the rumours are true. I love the fact all the stories. So whatever you read about him, it's true.
Well, it was cheaper for us to get a driver down.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's me, Addy Adebayo, and Sam Gagan.
Yeah.
And I think we knew a guy that was working in the city as a limo driver. I said, look, you know something? Do you mind? How much is it to drive us down and bring us back? So I did a deal with him. And it was so funny. The first time we turned up at Lambridge, I don't know if you know where Lambridge is. That's off the motorway. Got this white stretch limo. So right, we've got to be deliberately late. So everyone's on the pitch. And this white limo pulls in. Pulls into the training ground. And you could just see training just stopped. And then everyone's going, who the hell is in there?
At the same time, you know who's in there. Who else is it going to be?
He walked out.
Did you get grief for that? Did you get what did the coach
Just
say?
one of those. Sort of flabbergasted. Oh, unbelievable.
So who was the coach? Andy Robinson then? Yeah. And you wonder why you're transfer listed. I'm really surprised.
Yeah, but you know something? The Bath squad is full of characters, full of people.
True.
For that strong-willed, strong-minded, and you know that they will be there for you.
Yeah.
That was what it was like. We weren't yes people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we react to stuff too.
Yeah.
We're not yes people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was made the bond a lot stronger.
So once you've made this comeback, how do you feel about those games when you did get back in the England squad? Because it feels like all the games you've taken everything in your stride. Were those games particularly special being back in the England shirt? What did it feel like after that long gap to have done that work to actually get back in it?
Yeah, it feels good to achieve something you set out to do, and especially when you've got 2 years, it sounds like a long time.
Yeah,
but it's not.
Yeah,
because I had to get into the Bath team.
Yeah,
to convince the players and the management that actually I'm quite serious about this. Yeah. There isn't much time to do that.
Yeah,
and Clive had gone on then to coach England.
Yeah.
And forgotten about his conversation with me. Because I think, at the back of his mind, he's going, no, that's that playboy in London.
He's never gonna
eat
do
that champagne swilling. He's
Yeah.
never gonna. So he was very reluctant to pick me.
Okay.
With good reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very reluctant to pick me. So it was much harder, to get in. Although I was doing the work, I put it in the performances.
Yeah.
I was the fittest I'd ever been.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won the European Cup. I got into the World Cup squad. I was having to do extra training at the World Cup squad.
Yeah.
Where I think it was me, Trevor Woodman, and I can't remember who the other player was, who were doing additional fitness in order to get our levels up.
Yeah.
So worked really hard and performed in games.
Yeah.
I was a top try scorer in the European campaign.
Yeah. What was the moment when you found out? Did Clive Wood how did he eventually relent? Did you say to him, come on, when am I going to get my chance? Or
he never relented. But I think he got talked into it by the others.
Okay.
By the other coaches.
Yeah.
I think he would. I feel if it was down to him, I don't think he would have picked me.
So what was your comeback game then? What was the game that you came back for?
I was on the bench.
Oh, okay.
I was on the bench. I didn't, and he didn't quite trust me enough to get me in there as a starter.
But he got you on the pitch.
Yeah.
And then when you decided to you still played on club rugby for another year or two, was it?
No, I played on to the end of that season.
That's it. You just went there. And I thought you played on.
No, that was the plan. It was 99. In the 99-2000 season.
Oh, okay, that's why I think it was carrying on.
Yeah. So 99-2000
carried on for a little bit.
Had the World Cup, came back, and then played to May 2000.
Yeah.
That which was the plan all along. Get into the World Cup squad, play to the end of that season.
Yeah.
And ciao. Never to come back again.
What was that like?
Awesome. It was.
Were you supposed to say no? I didn't want to do it. I said please play on. You thought no.
Now that's it. I've made my mind up. That's what I'm doing. I'm gone. Time to move on and do something else.
Yeah.
And I always remember back at the club, every game I was counting down. And it was really, really cheesed up the rest of the players. Oh, that's one down. 10 to go. I was counting down every weekend, every game, and they hated me for that.
So you were getting all misty-eyed and emotional, saying, "Oh, guys, this is the last time I'm going to go play against Gloucester."
Great fun. I'm as fit as I can be. I was playing the best rugby. I was enjoying it. And just won. We won the Heineken Cup. It was a good feel in the camp. Things were starting to come back, although there was still it was still not perfect.
Yeah,
it was still it was still losing, people leaving, and so for me it just wasn't the right time. Yeah. They asked me to stay, but I said, look, guys, I gave you 2 years. I gave you 2 years.
Yeah.
To find a replacement.
You've realised you have not replaceable.
One.
So
you haven't found one, and they asked me to stay. I said, nah, actually, no, it's not. It's not going to be the same. This is times have changed, and this is what I set out to do. So it's the right time to go, and you got to know when it's right to go. If I'd come back, it just would have been the same.
What do you look back on as your greatest achievement in rugby? When you, I don't know if you ever do look back, it's not that you just forgot it all. But if there's anything that stands out for you, what is it? What are the moments and the matches or the wins? Or
I think the greatest thing is that decade, that decade at Bath, and those guys, that was to spend time with. I mean, that was a very, very special period. I was very fortunate to be part of that winning decade. And to be part of that group, because there was some special people. We had a great time. And sort of the bond that was sort of built was awesome. I never went into a game thinking that we're going to lose.
That's an incredible era.
That's a great feeling. You know what I mean? You can't beat that.
Well, I think since then there's not until this recent batch that it's taken Bath a long time to get over that, haven't they, and sort of catch up, because professional era left them behind, and it's only now when they're looking like, do you know what, they're starting to get that mentality where, do you know what, they'll get a win eventually. And even against Exeter the other week, I was thinking it's great that Exeter came back, but Bath had it in them to think, do you know what, we are going to get this.
But it's not easy. But against Northampton the previous week,
true.
It's like you just lost against Northampton second team. At home. You don't. You don't do that. If you've got it right, you don't ever do that. That just never happens. And that happens the following weekend. Whoever came down the Bath got massively spanked.
Do you think it was, obviously there's obvious comparisons with like Man United and Bath. After your era, there was such a struggle to maintain the standards, and the success of your era was also a bit of a millstone. Man United have got the same thing. Why do you think it has taken Bath so long to get back to the top?
I think the lack of continuity has been the major issue, because you're not going to build anything successful if you keep changing all the time. I mean, if you look at in the early years, we had teams that had 5 or 6 British and Irish Lions in them. And they went into Gloucester and lost 70 points. That's not about not having the players. The players have always been here. Because Bath has always had the cash to invest in the players. The players have always been here. The culture has been totally wrong. And it's only more recently that it's coming together. But it's still got a long way to go. In terms of building and winning momentum.
Yeah. And and now you must do a fair amount of events talking about the glory days as well. So it must be nice to be able to look back on this great era, and you must do it fairly regularly, I imagine.
No, I don't talk about the glory days.
They must surely ask you, how can people not see you? There's no way you are at an event talking and someone asks you about a cup win or... It's just no way. I don't believe you for a second.
Yeah, we just talk and we smile and we laugh. Yeah. People, I don't know. I very rarely talk rugby.
It must be nice because you are involved in hospitality. Is that been your main job for a long time now? Your hospitality business, or
again, that was something else that I fell into through rugby.
Yeah,
purely because of rugby. I mean, I'm at the '95 World Cup, and Jack Rowell took us down to Sun City.
Yeah,
and at the gambling table, I met this guy who ran a small travel business, doing escorted coaches to the US and Canada, and he had this dream of putting together a luxury brand to rival the likes of Kuoni.
Okay.
So he got a few of the media companies involved, threw in some space in return for share ownership.
Yeah.
And a good friend of mine worked at Associated Newspaper Group. So I introduced them.
Yeah.
And they got involved.
Yeah.
As a result of which I got a small piece of the action and retired shortly afterwards and got the job of, okay, we'll do sports tours on the side, which you can just escort, host the tours.
Yeah.
So what started as a sort of 1 day a week thing, and we'd applied for to be one of the licensed operators at the 2003 World Cup.
Yeah.
And got appointed. It turned into 8 days a week.
Yeah.
Learning the business.
Yeah.
Because when we first set up, the company was launched, and then a week later 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
It was not great time to set up a travel business. So the only thing that was really working at that time was, luckily for us, the sports side of it, because of the World Cup.
Yeah.
And the one thing my father taught me that I always remembered and did religiously was during my playing days, keep every card that you get.
Yeah.
Keep every card, meet people, and keep their details.
Yeah.
So I had a database of people who had met through rugby.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Never really been in touch with them since.
Yeah.
Until I set up the business.
Yeah.
And so when I did that, boom, I've got this database of people that I've met throughout my rugby playing career.
Yeah.
I'll just send an email out to them.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd be lucky if we took, say, 100 people to Australia, having only just launched the business.
Yeah.
We ended up taking 800 people.
Okay, great.
To Australia for 2003 World Cup.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was that was a very steep learning curve for me in the travel business and sports hospitality.
Yeah.
So that was how that started. So when I got back from the World Cup, I decided to do my own thing.
So rugby still has always kind of guided you down a certain path almost, inadvertently.
Yeah, it has. It walked into my life and took over.
And it got you on blankety blank.
You got me on blankety blank. That's true. And come down with me.
Come down. Yes. Forgot about come dine with me. I love come dine with me. So it's great. It must be nice you still close to rugby because you're around the games and all that stuff. Do you just enjoy being a fan sometimes as well, to be able to watch from the outside?
Yeah, it's great fun. I mean, now I sort of combine with the sports travel. I mean, I love travel myself.
Yeah.
So I combine whatever we're doing. For example, take some people down to the Dubai Sevens.
Yeah.
We're going to do a week in the Maldives.
Yeah, nice.
And then went down to went into Africa and do a 12-day self-drive through Namibia, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And in April, I'm taking some guests to the Hong Kong Sevens, and then we'll do a little 10-day tour of Vietnam.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so sort of just tying it up with other interesting things around the world, which is just absolutely fantastic.
Did you ever go coaching? Did you ever have a crack at that at all, or is it not your bag?
Not my bag. I can't think of anything worse.
I mean, it seems to me there's
because as soon as the whistle goes, it's absolutely so all you can do.
Yeah, but
You should be down to the players on the pitch.
We got so many players with like Nigerian heritage as well. It seems, there's such a strong bond, but like, does it feel like you look at rugby back in the country and think, oh, could there be something done there? Because it feels like there's some amazing players that have come through or through heritage side of things.
There's some great athletes in Nigeria. I mean, it's a big country. We've got over 200 million people.
Yeah.
So there will be some, small percentage of that will have the right skills and talent.
Yeah.
But I mean, Nigeria is a place I left in 1977. And I wasn't like one of the kids that was coming to England to study and going back home.
Yeah.
I came here and stayed here.
Yeah.
And in those days, you can't pick up the phone and phone back home and stay in touch with people. Unlike now, where with social media, it's very easy to stay in touch.
Yeah.
And to keep in touch with people.
Yeah.
Those days, that was there. I never went back.
Yeah.
So I lost, contact and touch with everyone that I knew back then.
Yeah.
Which is difficult.
Yeah.
So for me to go back now would be
Have you been back at all?
I've been back. I think I've been back 3 times since I left. I think. Yeah.
Because you're extremely positive person. You're a proper you bounce into a room, and there's a lot of things about your story that would everyone else would find quite upset you. Do you manage to able to just stay continually positive? Are you just, is that your nature? Because you bounce along with things. Yeah, rugby's taking me there. Great, I'm enjoying the journey. You just seem so positive. There's lots of elements that we talked about that I'd be like, that could break people, but you're just very positive and great outlook on life. It's a great way to be.
Yeah, I'm only human. Of course, there are things that get me down.
Yeah.
But you can't spend too much time dwelling on them.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise you're just going to be negative all the time.
Yeah.
So it's good to sort of move on.
Yeah.
Move on and move on to the things that make you happy.
Yeah.
It's very easy to fall into a spiral of everybody hates me, everyone discriminates against me.
Yeah.
Nobody likes me, and things aren't going right.
Yeah.
If you get into that, it becomes a very bad place.
Yeah.
Of course, there are times where when I've been there.
Yeah.
But you just gotta fight and get out of it.
Well, look, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure, Victor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.